We had two 59s last week on the Korn Ferry Tour, and one of those two players wound up winning in Wichita. We're on the road to French Lick. Hi everybody, welcome once again to The Road to French Lick, a show chronicling the Korn Ferry Tour. I'm Ryan Ballengee. On this week's episode, we'll catch up on the last event on the Korn Ferry Tour schedule, the Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas Wichita Open. We had a pair of 59s on the Korn Ferry Tour at Crestview Country Club in Wichita, so we'll talk about that. We're also joined by Jackson Buchanan, recently turned pro, just graduating from the University of Illinois as he plays at the MRS Championship out in Springfield, Illinois at Panther Creek. We're also joined by Mike Small, who's the head coach of the University of Illinois men's golf program, to talk about his longevity as well as his players, three of them competing this week in Springfield, Illinois in that event. And then Brendan Sweeney will join me as well to wrap up everything happening on the Korn Ferry Tour. But first we begin with a recap of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas Wichita Open, which was won by Canadian Myles Creighton, who becomes yet another first-time winner this year on the Korn Ferry Tour season. We are yet to have a repeat champion more than halfway into the season. And Myles Creighton becomes the rare player to shoot 59 or better on a major tour and wind up winning at the end of the week. This is a typically rare achievement, relatively speaking, to the number of players who have broken 60. There have been now 45 such rounds in the major tours around the world, and 15 of them on the Korn Ferry Tour. We had two this week, Myles Creighton in the third round with a chip in at the last, and then we had Adrien Dumonte-Chassart to kick things off on day one with 11 under 59. But once it came to Championship Sunday, 59s didn't matter, scoring conditions changed, wind picked up, and things got more difficult for the players looking for the win. In the end, Myles Creighton rallied on the back nine. He shot 68, 2 under par in the final round to win by one shot on 17 under, 263 over Emilio Gonzalez, who also had himself a great week at the U.S. Open. He shot 66 on Sunday to follow up a 62 in the third round. It left him a shot short in the end. Pearson Coody, who's been having a great year on the Korn Ferry Tour, wound up finishing in solo third place. He was 15 under par. And then Adrien Dumonte-Chassart, one of the players who shot 59 this week, he wound up in a tie for fifth place at 13 under par for the week. So 2 under for the rest of the week after opening with 59. Let's hear from our winner of the Wichita Open, Myles Creighton.
Yeah, I don't even know. I can't believe it, just from where I came from. And even today, it felt like I was stuck in the mud, kind of 3 back, and then obviously 11 was so pivotal, and it actually settled me down. Still, after 12, I was still, feeling the nerves quite a bit, and I started to settle down a little bit for whatever reason. Kind of found something in my swing and settled me down a little bit, and hit good shots down the stretch. And yeah, the putt on 18. I've been working the last week really hard on keeping my head down. I tend to come up and out of putts, and I said I'm not picking my head up until I hear something, whether it's a groan or a cheer. So I think it lipped in. I actually don't even know. But yeah, just can't believe it.
We mentioned there were two 59s this week on the Korn Ferry Tour. Yes, Myles Creighton, the winner this week, had one of them in the third round, but Adrien Dumonte-Chassart opened the tournament with 11 under 59 in the opening round, including a bogey like Myles Creighton on the scorecard. So let's hear from Adrien Dumonte-Chassart after that 59 to open the Wichita Open.
Yeah, I was off to a great start. Hit lots of really good shots, and I hit the driver very well today. When you hit it on those fairways, especially on those 2 par 5s that are not necessarily long, but you need to really good tee shot to give yourself a shorter approach shot. Just made it a little easier. I hit three greens under regulation, 3 2 putts. That kind of help get the round going. And then I think when I birdie hole 3 to go to, I think 7 under. That's when I started thinking about the 59. I was like, okay, it's a par 70. Just let's keep it going. And yeah, play really well down the stretch. Missed a shorty on 7, but that's what's cool about golf. You feel nerves even on 4-footers when you're 10 under, right? So I'm glad I bounced back and hit a really, really good 6-iron on 17, or I guess hole 8, to set up an easy birdie.
Was that just a lot?
With his win in the Wichita Open, Myles Creighton moves up to 16th place in the Korn Ferry Tour standings, putting him inside the top 20 of players who would earn PGA Tour cards for the 2026 season. Those top 20 in the points list at the end of the Korn Ferry Tour Championship, presented by United Leasing and Finance at the French Lick Resort, will have those spots for next year secured. We now look at the top 5 in the standings, and it's pretty much unchanged except for one person. Number 1 on the list remains Johnny Kiefer at 1,393 points. S.H. Kim remains in second place at 1,301 points. Hank Biota remains in third place at 1,289 points. Austin Smotherman remains in fourth place after winning the BMW Charity Pro-Am, gained some points, and is at 1,141 points. But our new fifth place player is Pearson Coody, who's at 920 points. This week on the Road to French Lick, we hear from Jackson Buchanan. The University of Illinois product is soon to be a household name in professional golf circles. I have no doubt about that. We spoke with him last year at this tournament out in Springfield, Illinois, where he was a sponsor exemption then and is again this year as he looks to get started soon on his professional golf career.
All right, Jackson Buchanan, welcome to the Road to French Lick.
Oh yeah.
Sponsor exemption this week in Springfield. Tell us how that came about.
Just a funny story. I was playing around with Max Herendeen, one of our freshmen, now sophomore, and got a call from Kate Peters, and she let me know, and I think we were playing a match, and I ended up getting a little rattled, and I think I blew it at the end, but I was just so pumped about this. It's exciting to test your game against the best, and somewhere I might be, in a year, you never know, so it's pretty exciting.
How's your experience been at the University of Illinois? And you're going into your senior year, right?
Oh yeah.
And, you've played some serious golf.
Yeah, it's the best golf program in the country, I think. It's you learn so much from coach, and we're all so close on the team. It's something you get for 4 years, and you really got to soak it in. But it's super awesome. I could get emotional talking about my boys. I love them, but I'm just learning so much really every day.
So you grinded it out through the U.S. Open qualifiers. You made it down to Pinehurst.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big ballpark, pretty big venue, pretty cool experience. Tell us about it.
It was awesome. The Monday, Tuesday was pretty sick. Getting out, playing some practice rounds. It's crazy how many fans there are on a practice round. You're hitting tee shots. They're all surrounded there on a practice round. But it was awesome. I got out on Thursday, played terrible on the front nine, and was like, okay, this is miserable. So let's actually play some good golf, because I was out there just enjoying it. I was like, okay, now I have to play good golf. So I played my last 27 holes, 1 under. So that was solid. Missed the cut by 1, but just a super great experience. Best players in the world. So
who'd you play with?
See your game. I played with in the tournament. Played with Thomas Dietrich and Brian Campbell, Illinois group. So that was pretty cool. But practice round, played with a few big names. Cam Davis, he's pretty good. Played with Dunlap, Sargent, a few fun guys to hang out with.
Right on. What a great experience that must have been.
Awesome.
Play well this week. You heading next week to John Deere.
John Deere, yep.
So
another exemption. I got the call right after I qualified for the U.S. Open, so it's kind of all happening at once. It's like, okay, this is kind of crazy, but it's awesome. It's just experience out here on the tour. I'm a college kid. I'm getting experience on the pro circuit, so really nothing better I could ask for.
The guy's been pretty cool to you out here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, eating breakfast with the guys on tour at the U.S. Open, you're like, oh, these guys are just as normal as me. I didn't realize that. Walking by Scotty Scheffler saying hi, it's just like, oh, these guys are normal. So that definitely helps a lot.
It's great. It's great. Well, good. You played actually Big Ten Championships 2022 at the Dye course. What do you think of that? What did you think of the Dye?
I remember the first round. It was so nice. No wind. I was a freshman. I was nervous. It's wide open, but the fairways are kind of tight, so you got to narrow your focus. But I remember Adrian shot like 64. I was like, holy crap, he's the best player in the world. But then the final round, the wind blew, and I think 73 might have been the lowest score. I shot 79 and helped the team. It was crazy, but it was awesome. The views are great. It was sick.
So what are you following on social? We just had a big gig up at our place. Did you see it at all?
I saw. I didn't get to watch it, but I saw it all over Instagram. I saw some of the big putts, the drives, the iron shots, 2 inches. It looked awesome, and it was nice to see a course I played before. I knew what was going on. but it was a little bit different. I was in some different spots on those holes with the wind and stuff, but it was pretty cool to see.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
And ILL.
I, baby.
French Lick, Indiana, our little corner of the world, has big things waiting. It's where legends were made, on the court and on the course. Walter Hagen, Colin Montgomery, Betsy Rawls, and Mickey Wright. It's where life is lived to the fullest, and where unexpected adventures are around every corner. Big things are waiting. Are you in? Visit FrenchLick.com and start your escape here in Indiana.
All right. Hey, welcome to the show. And we got a very special guest today, all the way from the pride and joy of Champaign, Illinois. University of Illinois head golf coach Mike Small, buddy. How you been, man?
Brendan, you are always a good source of entertainment for me, buddy. I tell you what, it's good to talk to you.
Well, I tell you what, since Johnny Palmer left the news station in the old Terre Haute, someone's got to fill the airspace down in central Illinois. I hope you're doing well, man. You have a busy schedule. You're all over the place. You've been recruiting. You've been hitting the portal. How's the Illinois men's golf team looking so far?
We're doing okay. We were young last year. Still working on building the team. Obviously, working with our players individually to get better. They're out playing summer events right now, and I'm playing a little bit myself this summer to stay sharp. But everything's good, man. As a coach, you got to work with your guys throughout the year, and then you got to trust them. You got to trust what they're going to do, and I do. I trust my guys. They're getting better. They're working hard, and next year's going to be a great year.
Are you playing in the Illinois senior sections, or are you in the Illinois Open? What are you playing in?
All the above, I guess. I played the Illinois Senior Open last week, Monday, Tuesday. I won, so it was good.
How many is that you've won so far?
I don't even know, man.
I'm guessing that on the seniors it's got to be close to 9.
Nah, it's only the last one that matters, buddy. It's only the last one that matters.
There you go. And then, for those who don't know Mike, Mike is a very accomplished golfer. He went to the University of Illinois. Graduated in 88, Mike? Does that sound about right?
That's right. Yes, sir.
And then went on to the nationwide tour, got a cup of coffee on the PGA tour, and then played in numerous PGA of America events. I think he won the professional national championship 3 times. And the last time being 2010 at the French Lick Resort. Hold on a second. I'll show you something really quick. Behind the scenes here in the B. Sweeney office is a picture of Mike Small.
Hey, there you go.
Bill Cook, Mike Small, Steve Ferguson, and me. Hello. 15 years ago, baby.
Some power brokers in that picture.
I tell you what. I got the camera all messed up. All right, cool. So you've done quite a great things on the PGA side, but you in your full-time life right now as a head coach of the University Fight Illini men's golf team. This week in Springfield at Panther Creek, you have 3 players, former players, two current players. Wait, 1 current player and 2 former players that are playing in this week's event. So with Jackson Buchanan, who just graduated, correct?
Yep, graduated less than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and then Luke Guthrie, who was a 3-time winner and Battlefield promoted Korn Ferry Tour to the PGA Tour. And then Mr. 59 as of last week, which has got to be huge to have 2 59s, but one of them, Adrian, ADC, coming in and he's just stomping some heads out there on the Korn Ferry Tour, looking like very positive getting his PGA card if he could finish it. What does that mean to you as a coach to see your current guys on the Korn Ferry Tour, knowing that you played on the Korn Ferry Tour, and what does that mean to them, to you, to see their accomplishments?
Well, I think they all know that I played on the Korn Ferry Tour back in the day. Like you said, it was a Nike Tour. I won twice out there, then got on the PGA Tour. And like you said, I played a season. I played probably 70. I think I played over 70 events. So I played more or less 3 seasons out there, but never had the success that my guys are having, which makes me happy and proud. But they all know that I played and still do play. And then those 3 names you mentioned, obviously Luke Guthrie spent over 4 seasons as exempt member of the PGA Tour, and Adrian Dumont Deschamps played on the PGA Tour last year, and was the year before that was the Korn Ferry Tour Player of the Year in only half of a season after he graduated from Illinois. So those guys are off and running. They're young and had some success. And then obviously Jackson Buchanan who just graduated a couple weeks ago, is going to get a second start in Springfield this year. Played in the U.S. Open for the second time a couple weeks ago. So he has a budding career as well, and it's fun for me as their coach to see them evolve and to grow and to have this as a career and follow in the footsteps of guys like Thomas Peters and Thomas Dietrich and Brian Campbell, who have all won on the PGA Tour. Nick Hardy, who's won on the PGA Tour. All those guys have played at Illinois, and hopefully these guys are next in line.
Well, I tell you what, you've had some great accomplishments here, and this is, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your butt, but since you joined in what, 2008 at Illinois? What was your first year?
2000.
2000. Okay, so NCAA championship appearances: 2002, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Dude, you're all over the NCAAs and the Big Ten championships. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, you're doing all right, pro.
Well, I've had good players.
Yeah, you've had some great coaches too.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. It's been a good run. Yeah, I mean, we've won the last 16 years. We have 13 Big Ten championships and 3 runner-ups. But what's cool is a stat last week, Brendan, since we're on this topic. Last week, there was some research done on the last 15 years of the NCAA finals, the NCAA championships. And we've been there to match play 9 times as a team, which is tied for the most, I think, all over. But as individually, Illinois holds the record right now for tied for the most wins, the most runner-ups, the most thirds, the most fifths, the most tenths, and the most 20ths in the country over the last 15 years in the NCAA championship. So again, kids are getting, they get better, they grow, but they're flat-out good players and good young men, and it makes me happy to see them continue this onto the tour.
How does that approach? I mean, when you go out to find a new recruit, I know this is your heavy season now, and if you look at the landscape of college athletics as we know it, as we knew it back in the day, where you would have the time to develop a player, from junior golf, he commits to you as like a sophomore in high school or a junior in high school, and then you have time to mold them. I mean, those days are pretty much cooked. And are you shopping the portal? Are you shopping more international events? How does the recruitment paradigm come together?
Well, coaches of any sport, especially golf, and just like anywhere else, is trying to get the best players you can, because your chances of success go up the better players you have, right? And now you have to get them better. They have to be disciplined and develop, and they have to be talented. But we're always trying to find those guys. So you're always looking, but you always have to settle when the season starts. You settle with who you have. And so that's the fun part of the season, is when the guys get on campus, they all come together and you work for 8 or 9 months, seeing how good you can be, preparing for the national finals. But this is the time of year where you have to build that team. You're going out there, you're spending a lot of time and energy talking to a lot of young men when you only need 1 or 2 to join your team. So, a lot tell you no and a couple tell you yes, and then you're off and running. But this is the time of the year where you put a lot of work in for not a lot of for the chances are low. That's just the way recruiting is, but it's part of the deal. It's part of the situation you have to do and part of the game, but it's a necessary evil. Recruiting is definitely the lifeblood of college athletics.
Now, when you look at recruiting, you recently made some changes to your facilities, your infrastructure at Illinois. When you look at an Alabama, Texas A&M, Florida, they have the weather, but you made the investment in your facilities. Can you tell us a little bit about what the University of Illinois and what your program has changed over the years to recruit more players?
Well, our facilities evolve. We need places to train and practice and to get better. We need places that shows a commitment to the recruits and to the kids that we want them to be great. The facilities have been awesome for a long time, but yes, we continue to add to the building, continue to grow. But our facilities are awesome, and very few places in America, Brendan, you can play golf every day all year round. I mean, even the Southeast, it may be warmer than it is in Illinois in the winter, but still, you get some bad weather, you get some rain, you get conditions. Well, when you have a facility like ours, you're never even out of those days. You can always practice and train. So, but we also travel a lot in the winter and go down and play tournaments all spring and starting in January and take practice trips. And, it's all part of the deal, but our facilities are great. That they're set to where our guys can get better, and it's been proven that over the years.
Brian,
Mike, I mean, how How much pride do you take in the longevity of your success? I mean, Brendan read off your CV. It's lengthy. It could take up a lot of pages. But there are people who have success that's kind of a flash in the pan, and that's still success none the same. But yours is sustained over a quarter century of success at Illinois. Do you take pride the longer that success lasts, more pride in it? Or is it just kind of, hey, this is what I signed up to do?
That's a great question. And people ask me all the time. We've been to, like I said, had 9 top 5 finishes, but we have not won the national championship. We won a bunch of regionals, I think second or third most ever. We've won a bunch of Big Tens, had a good run there. But the national championship has evaded us for whatever reason. We've won the stroke play portion the way they used to determine the national champion twice. Well, now after you win that, you got to go to match play. So we haven't yet won the match play. And people ask me, would you trade all those years and all those successes for one win, for one national championship? And I would not, because I love being in the game. I love being there every year. I love the thrill of competing. I love taking new teams and new players for that experience. And I would rather have a lengthy 20, 25-year career than I would just maybe one win and out and never be in a contender again. Now, again, if I'm on that side of the equation and I've won it, I guess I could always say that. So I guess it's what you do, it's what you hold, what you have. But my personality is I want to be going back every year, in the mix of it, and not disappearing for a few years and then come back again.
Well, Mike, we appreciate your time. And if you look at some of the people that have gone through your program, that you prepared, you look at the men that came through your program, that you gave them 4 years, but I think you really prepared all the gentlemen that came through your program for the next 40 years of their life. And as a dad and as a friend to you, I could be more proud of you and your program and what the University of Illinois has done for men's golf. Congratulations on your success. Congratulations on your guys. And congratulations on being a great dude and a great dad and a great husband. Thanks for being my pal, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, brother. I'll tell you what, the respect is mutual, man. You always got a place in Champaign and a friend here. So keep up the good work, and if I can ever help, you always know to call me.
Thanks, man.
Brendan Sweeney joins me from Orlando as we recap the latest event on the Korn Ferry Tour schedule, the Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas Wichita Open, one of the best trophies on the Korn Ferry Tour, the plane propeller, which is really cool. We've had a couple of really good events in a row with the BMW Charity Pro-Am as well. We finally get someone who shoots 59 or lower on the Korn Ferry Tour and wins. That's Myles Creighton. He made a 59, the second of the week behind Adrian Dumont-Chessart, thanks to a chip in on the final hole in the third round. That was exactly the difference between winning and losing, because he beat Emilio Gonzalez by one shot to win on the Korn Ferry Tour. Yet again, we have another first-time winner of the Korn Ferry Tour, and yet again, we still do not have a repeat winner this season on the Korn Ferry.
The Canadian, Myles Creighton, cranks out a 59 in the third round, and Adrian, ADC, he shoots a 59 in the, second or in the first round?
Yeah, the opener.
Yeah. How about, hey, I'm sporting U of I stuff today. I got my, proudly sponsored by the number 59. On the Korn Ferry Tour. So having 2 59s being shot in the same tournament within a couple of days, that's pretty rare. But tell you what, it just shows you how good these guys really are and what you have to do to finish the round. I mean, ADC goes 59.70, and then Myles goes 59.68. We were talking before offline about what's the bounce back on a 59, and we're guessing somewhere around 58 or 68, 69. So it holds true right there.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, I mean, this is obviously had 2 in a week, so we've had 2 this year on the Korn Ferry Tour, sub-60 rounds. Last year we had 3, 2 in the same tournament. Cristobal del Solar shot 57 in Chile, and then Aldra Potgieter shot 59 on the same course the next day. Neither of them won that tournament.
And ADC doesn't win. Adrian doesn't win after shooting a 59 as well, too.
Right, he doesn't win. Frankie Sapp III shot a 58 at the Veritex Bank Championship at Texas Rangers Golf Club. He didn't win because Tim Vieding won, and he shot 31 under par to win that tournament. So 59 doesn't...
Crazy numbers.
These are stupid numbers.
Crazy
for professional golf. But what it means is basically 59 doesn't get you a whole lot. I mean, we were, like you said, we were talking about this offline before we started recording. So now there are 15 sub-60 rounds on the Korn Ferry Tour, the most of any tour on the planet. They overtook the PGA Tour by 1 this week, thanks to Myles Creighton's 59. But the breakdown of the percentages of players who win the tournament around the world, any tour, any major tour, when you shoot sub 60, 17 have, 28 haven't. So shooting 59 or better is a nice accomplishment, but it doesn't really mean that you're going to have the trophy at the end.
It just has to be an emotional drain on your psyche of, oh my God, I just had a 59. Or when you're trying to get to that 59, so you're in the 59 watch, all of a sudden you hit it. I mean, what an emotional high that has to be. But I'm sure the bounce back, as we could see, is 8 to 9 strokes different. So,
yeah, I mean, I imagine you have to put pressure on yourself. All right, well, you've proven you can do it. Now, why can't you do it every day? Why can't I shoot 59 again today? I mean, you don't typically get that close to it. I mean, there are a couple of folks in history who've shot 63, 64 the next day, but the vast majority are high 60s, low 70s the following day. So, I mean, that happened to Myles Creighton. He shot 68, but that was good enough to win. Beat Emilio Gonzalez, beat Pearson Coody, who now suddenly finds himself pretty much on the doorstep of getting back to the PGA Tour as well.
I tell you what, and now we're starting to see, I mean, we're 13 weeks into it, or 13 tournaments into it. And now we're starting to see the points really start to take place. And you're looking at winners that are outside of that top 20 right now. You look at Bryson Nimmer, who was a bright shining star, had a great week. He shot up and now he's 22nd on the list. So yeah, all these points are starting to take shape. And you look at guys who aren't really like pulling their own weight. I mean, shockers out there. I'm looking at like Doc Redman, who had a little medical issue, but now he's got to start like playing hard. I mean, he's in trouble even making a top 75, not even, I mean, making the top, 100 to get in. And there's a lot of guys that are starting to scrapping for this stuff. And you're going to start seeing them as the second half kicks in. I mean, they're playing in Springfield, Illinois this week, and it's a bomber's paradise out there as well. It's a relatively short course, got great greens, but I mean, these guys go out there and they'll shoot 20, 25 under par and really make a difference. And someone, could come out of the group and like Creighton did. I mean, he came out, had a hot day, and Bryson, he had a hot day. All these first-time winners out there, I mean, you see them just shoot right up the point letters. So.
Yeah, Creighton was 74th heading into the week. Now he's 16th. I mean, that's kind of on the outer edges of being able to get in that top 20, stay in that top 20. You can't feel safe, really, I think, unless you're in the top 6 or 7 at this point. You probably feel like you got a good shot of the card. And I'm not even sure that's safe at this point. I think probably top 3 are feeling pretty good about themselves between Johnny Kiefer and Hank Lebiota and S.H. Kim. Everybody else, I am not certain they feel that they've got a PGA Tour card in hand otherwise.
It's just going to get tougher next year. I mean, look at the PGA Tour. I mean, you're going from 125 to 100. So those 25 guys will be moving down as well. So, yeah, these guys got to get their stuff together quick and hopefully pull it over the line, get their card, and move on to the PGA Tour.
And some things have changed, too, on the Korn Ferry Tour side for next year as well. They just announced these changes last week that if you finish in the top 75 in points previously, so basically if you got to the Korn Ferry Tour Championship, you had full status for next year. Now that is not the case. You have to finish in the top 60 to get full status guaranteed for next year. So even if you get to the end of the road, at French Lick, you're not guaranteed to have a place to play every week next year either. So it's getting harder in pretty much every facet of being. And we're going to have to start thinking about those guys too, because not everyone obviously is going to get a PGA Tour card and graduate from the Korn Ferry Tour. They're going to want a place to play. That's the number they're going to have to shoot for now is 60, not getting to the Tour Championship.
Well, it's just going to make the Korn Ferry Tour more stronger, right? But you look at the Canadian Tour and you look at the Latin American Tour, those are to become stronger as well. But there's only so many sponsors that go around. I mean, the product is strong, but it's big. I mean, there's so many different opportunities, but you're losing a lot of different spaces as well.
All right, so let's talk about this week's event. We've got the Memorial Health Championship at Panther Creek out in Springfield, Illinois. You were there last year for us. Jackson Buchanan's in the field. He was a sponsor exemption last year. The U of I product's going to be back this year. A very accomplished player. Let's talk about him real quick and then just kind of the connection to U of I that this tournament has.
Yeah, he's really a dynamite kid. Played in the U.S. Open this year. It's just he's shooting up the ranks on PGAU. He's going to be a star, and he's going to be he's probably going to go right through Korn Ferry, and it just shows you what kind of power and teamwork that the University of Illinois has. This is literally in their backyard. U of I's got, Brian Hardy, or Brian Campbell, Nick Hardy, Luke Guthrie's playing in this tournament. U of I guy, he's got to get his act together as well. Jackson Buchanan. It's a really strong tournament for the Illinois program, and Mike Small will be out there. He walks with his guys, and these guys have a sponsor exemption, or Jackson does a sponsor exemption this week in Springfield, and there's really a strong backing there. So yeah, we look forward to a big week with him. We spoke to him last year at this event. We can probably drop that interview in later, and hopefully try to get Mike Small on the line this week too.
So this is the first of 7 remaining regular season events. Then we start to kind of whittle guys down a little bit. Getting into the Korn Ferry Tour finals isn't necessarily the biggest leap in the world. I mean, you had to have had a decent enough year to make a full field event. And then after that, the Simmons Bank Open, which is in Tennessee. Then the cutoffs really start with the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship out in Columbus. Yep. And then we've got a new penultimate event this year. The third event now is the Compliance Solutions Championship out in Oklahoma at the Patriot Golf Club. So we're getting close to that time where if you haven't been doing anything, or you've been on the shelf because you're injured or whatever, if you're going to make your hay, you've got to do it really soon in these next 7 weeks, basically. It
is. And then, when the playoffs kick in, the points jump up as well. They go from 500 to 600 points for the winner. So any week, anybody can make it. And we've seen it already this week, or this season so far. So yeah, we're looking forward to a strong finish this week in Springfield, Illinois, and then moving on down the road from there. So let's see what happens, Ryan, and look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks, Brendan, as always. Appreciate it. That'll do it for us this week on the Road to French Lick. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate it. We'll catch you after the next episode. Oh, no. That'll do it for us this week on the Road to French Lick. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it. We are well more than halfway through the season now, and the Korn Ferry Tour schedule continues this week in Springfield, Illinois at the Panther Creek Country Club. We'll bring you an episode after that show as well, keeping you up to date on everything happening on the Korn Ferry Tour. For Brendan Sweeney, I'm Ryan Ballengee, for everyone at the French Lick Resort and at Golf Newsnet. We'll see you next time on the Road to French Lick.
You've arrived at French Lick Resort, here in Indiana. 2 hotels you have to see to believe. Legendary Golf by Pete Dye and Donald Ross. Our little corner of the world is like nowhere else. Your French Lick getaway starts now at FrenchLick.com.